Welcome everyone to this week's video. Today we are on Herp Monday number 42. Have a good one today. Today's Herp is a lizard that I personally love. Quite possibly my favorite lizard. Definitely the favorite one that I have ever found. But I really love this lizard. Not necessarily the most interesting lizard, but I think it's still really cool. Today's Herp that we are going to talk about is the Crevice Spiny lizard. So Crevice Spiny lizard, or scientific name Scoloporus poinsettii. Again, that is scientific name Scoloporus poinsettii. It is part of the family Phrynosomatidae, which is a very diverse family of lizards. A lot of people have called these thorn lizards, horny lizards, spiny lizards, I think is another common one. And a lot of that has to do, you can tell here on this picture, how just like spiky this thing looks. It is really spiky, especially along this. Now, it's found in the Chihuahua Desert and Edwards Plateau region of Texas in New Mexico. Fun fact, I live in the Edwards Plateau region of Texas, so not only is it one of my favorite lizards, I actually have the opportunity to try and find these things. Emphasize try, we'll get into that in a little bit. These lizards are found in the brush, really semi-arid habitats, think desert, basically got it. They're found really a lot of times near limestone rock. The reason why is because limestone rock usually has a ton of holes and cracks and faults in this rock that are really easily accessible by these lizards. Because they live on this type of rock, they are predominantly gray in colors, but they do sometimes have like a ruddy red-brown. You can see here this kind of reddish brown. Sometimes they'll get blacker. There's a ton of their pictures on Crevice Spiny. They do have a rather varied color patterns, so definitely not something that is too easy. I shouldn't say it. They rather are. But one of the most striking features about this is the collar around the neck. That collar that has this black band, and it usually has these white stripes on the in front of it and behind it. The back does get very mottled. They do have the rather robust head, and then usually they have this black and white banding. That seems to be really common. Males will have blue patches on either side of the belly, which we had this picture right here. That is a prime example of the blue under the chin and blue on the bellies, and you can see a ton of other pictures. It's really common in the Phrynosomatids. The spiny lizards, they really have this blue patch color, and that is for display. We'll get into that. Something that we've already mentioned, these are a spiny scaled creature. These are not, these don't look like they're nice to pick. So they are definitely there, but there's a reason why they have them. In terms of size, these can grow up to about 31.1 centimeters, which is just over 12.2, just over a foot in length. This is a pretty big lizard, honestly. That's really rather large lizard when you think about it. I mean, it's not Komodo dragon, obvious, but most of the time people think of lizards, they're thinking of, these little 5-inch things that they see scurrying around. But these actually living in these rocks and crevices, finding like the bigger spiders and things like that for them to eat. These can grow to a decent size, and the reason why, we talked about their spiny scales, and this is one of the interesting facts about it. One of the things about these is these will get in those cracks, and they use those spines to set themselves in the cracks and the faults of the rock. So they rush in and they squeeze into a tight place. Because all those spines are facing the back of the creature, they go head first, then it's harder for a predator to pull them out because those spines are facing the opposite direction. And because they go in head first, they protect their head from major damage. Basically, the predator can only get to the tail. And like a bunch of other lizards, the tail on a Crevice Spiny lizard can detach. Not as easily as some others. Something else you may have wanted to know, why do they have these blue patches? Well, that goes into the true interesting fact about these, and that's their reproduction cycle. A lot of lizards do what we call head bobbing, meaning that if they find a certain area that they want to present them to males, they will sit there and they will do a head bob, especially if another male comes in their territory. They do head bobs and they flash that blue flap. They also, in terms of also doing head bobbing, they'll actually do push-ups in front of males. You know, just like the muscle dudes on the beach, they're doing push-ups to try and impress girls and make other males go away. And basically, the brighter the blue and the larger they can stand and hold their head up, that's just a much more territorial display. But if they are in trouble, one of the neat things about it, this particular instance, is they do get in trouble, they can immediately kind of get close to the rock and hide themselves from like a predator, like a hawk or an owl flying overhead. So it's a way for them to do it. Sometimes that blue on the neck will come around, get on the neck of the collar, and this is one of the easiest ways I have found to find them. Is actually, dog just came up and licked my arm. But that's one of the easiest ways down. You try and find that flash of blue on their neck. Now, so something else, going back into the reproduction on why I really like these things. These are actually one of the examples of lizards that are what are called ovoviviparous, meaning that they do have internal fertilization. They do have eggs, but their eggs are not hatched. Either they are directly about to hatch or they hatch inside and they give semi-live birth. The reason why there is a difference, why it's not just live birth, is in ovovipary, the young are not held inside of like a uterus connected to the mother with like an umbilical cord like there is in animals. They still have a yolk sac that the young feed off of while they're still in the womb, basically. So they are still basically in an egg. They are just not hatched till they are born. But thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you again. If I don't, please be safe. Have a great day. I love the support. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We had a recent huge blast of new subscribers. It's awesome. I hope you enjoyed the comment. Please go check out the other series, the Fish Fridays. Cannot thank you enough for the love and support. Thank you guys so much again. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones.